Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today being Saturday, I thought we would just go ahead and jump into the lesson that's assigned for morning prayer this morning from Genesis. And remember, we've been kind of hopscotching our way through various kind of key stories as a setup for the reality of the coming of Jesus Christ. And remember, the Old Testament is about God's relationship to his creation, and then ultimately a particular relationship through Abraham and his generations, the people who would come after him, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then their 12 tribes, Jacob's 12 children, the people of Israel. And so we are looking at that through the eyes of Jesus and how all of this is a way in which God is setting up what will ultimately be the salvation of the world by sending his own son, Jesus Christ. So we're on the 22nd chapter, and we've been, like I said, we've been hopscotching through the stories. We don't read every word of Genesis. You are encouraged to do so on your own. And in between, you can read, on the days that were assigned portions, you can read everything in between if you want. It's more than okay. You can always read more Bible. We're not going to stop you. But here we are on the 22nd chapter, and we hear this. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went to the place of which God had told him. And on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. He said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for the burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him a burnt offering in the stead of his son. Now, for us to hear this, I know I have 3 sons, and the thought of taking any of them at God's order, or anybody's order for that matter, and sacrificing them is beyond my comprehension. But remember, and we hear this later on in the retellings of this story by others in the Old Testament, and of course by St. Paul in the letter to the Hebrews as well, that and the other of Paul's, that this was reckoned of faithfulness, that God was looking not for the action of the sacrifice, which ultimately, of course, didn't happen, but as a test and a check of Abraham's faith, that Abraham believed that God had a plan for him, that God, in this unique relationship, had this expectation of him, and that he would trust that God, as he said to his son, God would provide a sacrifice. Did Abraham really think he was going to have to kill his son? I'm wondering if right up to the very moment he kept hoping that something would happen, and was so relieved when the angel did. I know he was certainly relieved when the angel did speak. But, of course, what it is the righteousness of Abraham in doing exactly what God has told him in this unique relationship that he had, the beginning of this original covenant. Of course, we, looking at this now with New Testament eyes, find that ultimately the sacrifice of animals is, in the Old Testament, a way to show for the forgiveness of sin. It's an offering to God, but it doesn't actually wipe out sin. But we, in fact, find that there is a son who was sacrificed for our sins. And that, of course, is Jesus Christ, that God spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us. So even though God asked Abraham to do this as a test of his faith, ultimately Jesus Christ, the Son of God, would be sacrificed as the propitiation, the offering in the place of us, of our sins. It's really a very powerful thought as we look at the Old Testament lesson through these New Testament eyes to see what God was preparing and would give to us through his Son. Okay, it's Saturday morning, folks, and so, of course, we have worship this weekend. It is the first Sunday in Lent, which we start worshiping Saturday night because of the restrictions to 10 people per worship service. So we have a sign-up sheet, clickable link on stjohnsdetroit.org to the Sign-Up Genius, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock today, and then tomorrow, 7:30 morning prayer, and then 8, 9, 10, 11:30, 12:30, Holy Communion, and then evening prayer at 5 p.m. on Sunday night, with the opportunity to receive communion as well. So please do go and sign up. It's so vitally important that we attend worship, that we gather together, even if it's in a small group of 10. But most importantly, we receive Jesus Christ in the Blessed Sacrament. I look forward to seeing you in church. Have a great Saturday, and may God bless you.